Yes, good morning, friends. Now I would like to welcome you for the lecture series 3 of Unit 1. In this lecture series, we will discuss about the remaining part of your syllabus for first module, first unit, monetary system. Every student of commerce and management should know the monetary system available in the economy. Every country has its own monetary system. Now, due to this trade relations between the countries, there should be a common monetary system necessary between the countries to exchange their currencies and to value their money. Therefore, today we have a common monetary system. We try to have a common monetary system among the countries having a common trade practices. Though there is no common denominator of a money, may be called as a dollar in America, pound in some countries, or rupee in some countries, like that. But the value system, the system of the value of money, try to be made same throughout the country. Let us understand what are the different types of monetary systems that were prevailing earlier and what we are practicing in today's economy among the whole world. Let us understand it first. Before understanding that, what is a monetary system? Let us first know this. Monetary system is the set of laws regarding to the nation's currency and to the mechanisms and institutions by which a government provides money in the country's economy. In other sense, it is the total system how the currency note take birth in the country and how government provides money in the country's economy. It is usually consists of three important aspects. One is called as mint. Mint is the printing system of the currency notes in the country. Second one is a central bank, what you call as in our country it is a Reserve Bank of India. In most of the countries, it is called as a central bank. And the third one is commercial banks through which the money is being circulated in the hands of the people, either in the form of loans and advances or in the form of deposits, like that. Most monetary systems are managed by the uh, commercial is a central bank, which is given the authority to print money and control the money supply in the economy. Monetary system can be any formal structure adopted by a government that issues a currency which is accepted as the medium of exchange by its citizens and by other governments. See, the monetary system is a structure which is adopted by the government that issues currency which is accepted, in the sense that the government, whatever it issues saying that it is a money, the people have to adopt it and exchange it. That activity is called as monetary system. There are some important elements of monetary system. One is called as monetary standard. Monetary standard in the sense the standard how the money is valuated. Second one is monetary unit. Monetary unit refers to the denomination of the money. Types of money, the various types of money that we have. Money convertibility. Money convertibility refers to how money is converted into a value actually accepted by all the people. Monetary standard is the material, sorry, this is what is a monetary standard? Monetary standard is the material representation or the value behind the money in the monetary system used for the definition of a monetary unit. For example, if you have a 100 rupee currency note, how this 100 rupee currency note is valued? What is the value behind that representation of a currency note? If you have a coin in your hand, what is the value in the behind that? See, in the olden days, there was no any problem in the currency exchange. If you go to the Vijayanagara Samrajya or any other kinds of rules in the country, the currency note was not there. There were the coins. So the coins were made up of either a silver or a gold, where the intrinsic value, that is the inside value of the currency, and the face value were equal. For example, if the gold value is rupees 100 in those days per tola, and the coin was 100 rupee coin was made out of 1 tola only. So there was no confusion. People, when they get it, they used to get the gold or the silver, which is a direct treasure of value in the hands of their own. But nowadays, this is not there. This is not there. It is replaced with a representation of a value. When the representation of the value is made in the form of a money, then it should have a standard behind it to value it. That is called monetary standard. Depending on the monetary standard adopted, there exist different types of monetary systems. We had classified this into three important things called metallic standard, mixed standard, and paper currency standard. So earlier there was a metallic standard monetary system based on monetary metal. So there is again monometallic standard system called as single metal was used, and P, the second one in the metallic standard itself, is bimetallic standard system. That is two different representations of value money was made. That is silver and the gold. And the second one is mixed system where gold exchange standard, reserve currency standard plus gold standards were made. And now there is a paper currency standards which is prevailing in the whole world. That is the third one is paper currency standard. Let us see one by one. Metallic standard system refers to the metals where the base of monetary value. There is called a silver standard. In uh, functioned between the 15th century and 18th century, when in 15th century when Portuguese came to India, then British came to India. In those days, in the earlier days, mm, when was replaced by bimetallism standard, because the silver standard is the monetary system in which the basic unit of the currency, monetary unit, is defined as a fixed weight of the silver. Earlier, in those days, silver was given more value, where most of these various kinds of governments available in the various countries used to consider the compare the value of the gold in terms of the price of the silver. For example, one monetary unit would contain, say for example, 10 grams of silver. 10 grams of silver is a one monetary unit. Say for example, 10 grams of the silver represents 10 rupees. Silver was adopted as the standard money and was made a legal tender money for all payments, any kinds of payments to be made, reciprocating the value of the money. So, silver was used for the transfer. For example, even if the country is minting a coin and all that, behind a coin, gold storage was made, sorry, silver storage was made, and the silver was given exchange against the coins. If at all any person doesn't want that coin, then the value of the coin is given in terms of silver. Features of silver standard system, if you see, gold coins were not considered standard money, but the simple commercial coins and their prices were expressed in comparison with the silver coin. Convertibility of the other money into silver was unrestricted. There is no restriction for converting the money into silver. Any kinds of money can be converted into silver because money was a just coin, but it was backed up by the silver. Most of the time, silver is used as a backing money. So import and export of the silver for the settlement of the international obligations were free. And in those days, suppose for example in India, when the Portuguese people are trading, the Indian currencies were in terms of bronze coins and all that, but they are all backed up by the silver coins in the country, where the Portuguese, at the cost of the trade made in the form of any other metallic things, they used to convert it into gold, silver, and they used to carry the gold to their country. So, in between two different countries, silver was freely moving. Silver was freely moving. So in our country, silver extraction was more. Hence, there were more coins and there was more circulation of the coins in the country, and the country was very rich. Then divisionary coins were made of a common metal, and there was a fixed exchange rate between them and the silver coin. So divisible coins, like for example, if 10 grams of the gold, if silver, if you consider as 100 rupees, division of 10 rupees, 15 rupees, and all that, an example, will be made with any other metals. But when you are converting it to a value, so silver was the only exchange value between the countries. So this is what we call a silver value. But the silver value was later on replaced with what you call as 19th century. There is bimetallic system. Two metals were adopted as a standard of money. When the silver has lost the importance, the bimetallic was used, which is mm, gold and the silver. Before the existence of the silver metal, there was a gold standard earlier where coins were made up of the gold, but it is not affordable for most of the dynasties or countries and all that. They stopped issuing the gold and then they come out with the silver coins. And after that, it was identified in the 19th century system was a bimetallic. Two metals were used, not only a silver, because even gold is also used. Two metals were adopted as a standard money, gold and silver. A legal ratio was established between the value of the two coins, gold and silver, circulated as a legal tender money, and there was a legally fixed ratio of exchange between them. The ratio between the two metals was expressed in terms of weight. Example, 15 ounce of a silver equals to 1 ounce of gold. A ratio of 15 is to 1 monetary unit was defined by the law in terms of fixed quantities of the gold and silver. People could bring gold or silver bars to the mint. The agency responsible for making a coin, and they would get gold or silver coins in exchange. This system was very unstable. Because the value of the gold and silver was volatile in the market, so it was a difficulty. Then gold standard, it replaced the bimetallic standard in the late 19th century. Again, in the 19th century, most of the countries adopted a gold standard where the 100% of the value of the currency was backed up only with the gold. This led to what we call as a standard money. This led to a standard money where a 100 rupee note was backed up by the 100 rupees value gold with the minting authority. So this is how the currency notes. The gold standard was in international standard in almost all the countries. Because of the exchange rates were fixed, the gold standard caused the price levels around the world to move together. The types of the gold standards were gold coin standards, where the coins were itself made up of the gold. Gold bullion standards, where the reserve of the gold is maintained and the currency notes were issued. Gold exchange standards means between two countries, gold itself is exchanged as the value for the money. So the internal circulation within the country was in the form of coins other than golds. But when it comes to international trade where the settlement has to be made, gold itself was used as the transfer of the currency. So the third point is the recent one, that is a paper currency standard system, managed currency standards. In the 20th century, both silver and gold lost their former importance within the monetary system, and the monometallic system was abandoned by all nations. Almost all the nations avoided it. It was set up in 1976 at the conference in Kingston, Jamaica, when the gold lost its role of monetary standards. Under this system, the currency of the country is made of a paper. It was made up of the paper, where most of the countries stopped backing the currency with 100% reserve of the gold, and they started feeling that the gold is not at all important. Trust is very important between the countries. So when they come on a single platform, all the different countries, they started trusting each other, and they started valuing the currency of other country, if a minimum reserve itself is made with the gold, not necessarily that the 100% of the currency value should be backed up by the gold. So generally, the currency system is managed by the central banks of every country. Today, almost all countries in the world have managed currency standard system. In the currency standard system, minimum reserve of the gold is made, and that largely the portion, so some portion of the value of the currency is backed up by the promises or the oaths or the collateral securities of the country, papers and all that are supportive for the value of the gold. The paper currency standard system is a fiat system. It is called as a fiat means illusory. It is not real one, where the currency what you hold in your hand has no any value, because today it is a paper value. Suppose, for example, even coins are also getting deteriorated. In most of the exchanges, we don't use the coins. In between two different countries, when the exchange happens, we exchange the paper currency, not the gold, not the standard, not the silver, nothing at all. But paper itself is. Say, for example, if you want to buy a dollar, you give a rupee and you buy a dollar. Both are in terms of papers. So the intrinsic value, the inside value of that money is not equivalent to the value of the face value of that money. For example, if you are holding a $1 or 100 rupee note, there is the paper that is being made for preparing that particular currency has a least value, maybe 0.1% of the total value. The printing and all that, maybe 1 rupee or two, but you are holding a value of 100 rupee in your hand. So that 99 rupees, 0.99 paise will be just a promise, just a promise. This is called paper currency system. Does not allow free convertibility of the currency into metallic standards. There is no free convertibility. Every country should have a trust and they should accept it. If the war breaks it, if there is any problem, turmoils happen between two countries and totally they destroy their trade relations, in such cases only settlement may be made out of the gold or the silver reserves made for printing that currency note. Otherwise, there is no exchange of any metal or silver or gold between the countries for settlement of the trade. So they have to carry out it for future with the deposit of this currency notes itself, paper currency notes itself. Money is a given value by the government. Fiat is intrinsically useless. The value of the money is set by the supply and demand for the money. How the money value is decided? Demand and supply of the money for the goods and services in the country. The value of the money depends on its purchasing power. The value of the money depends on, say, for example, the rupee value in front of the what you call as dollar value. If you consider today, suppose for example, $1 will cost you 80 rupees. $1 will cost you 80 rupees. Suppose if the imports from the USA increases in the India, demand for the goods of the USA increases. So automatically the dollar rate will increase to 80 rupees to 81 rupees. If you want to buy $1, you have to pay 81 rupees. On the other side, if the products from India were imported by USA, then the demand for the currency of rupee will increase. So automatically the price of the Indian rupee will increase. Now, for example, if to buy $1, you earlier used to pay 80 rupees, but now because of this, you have to pay 70 rupees. An example. So the value of the money will increase or decrease depending on the trade relations between the countries. Advantages of currency system. This currency system is wholeheartedly accepted by all the countries, and today it is being practiced because it has certain advantages. Paper money is economical. One is, you know, that printing of paper currency has no any value, no any problem, because mint will print it with all confidentialities in it. But if at all coin has to be prepared, it has to be prepared with utmost care, the weight and all that, the cost will be normally more. Its cost of production is negligible. It is convenient to handle, and it is easily portable. It can be any amount of the money. Say, for example, if you are buying a 1 crore dollar or 1 crore rupee between the countries and all that, you can easily carry out. The businessmen trade people can easily carry out because paper does not occupy. If it is a metal, you have to carry in trucks. You have to carry in trucks. If it is a currency note, you can carry in a briefcases. It is homogeneous in most of the cases. It is homogeneous because the kind of paper that is being used for printing currency notes by all the countries is common. Its supply can be made elastic. Supply can be made elastic. Elastic in the sense, whenever there is more requirement, you can easily print more and supply. Whenever there is a dearth, you can destroy and keep it up. So that is elasticity is there. Its value can be kept stable by proper management. Value can be kept by proper. If the country is performing well economically, if it is backed up by a very good amount of trade practices and what you call as the assets of the country, that country's currency note will be more valuable. You may be knowing today dollar is considered to be a common denominator for conversion of rupee. Say for example, if there is a trade relation between India and Saudi Arabia, the trade relations are defined in the dollars. The Indian currency note is first converted to dollar. Dollar is again converted to currency of the Saudi Arabia. Like that, dollar becomes a common denominator in most of the cases. The basic reason is dollar is managed well by USA, by the American people. That is why America is having a well economic structured system. So its currency is more trusted by most of the countries. Paper currency can function very effectively as money provided there is a proper control of it in the managing authority. It is ideal for internal trade, but for international trade and payments, gold is still found necessary if there is international trade where the war may break out and relations may reduce. So, gold is necessary. Therefore, every country should have a backing for their minimum backing for their currency to manage its well in the international way. The basic disadvantages that most of the countries are facing due to this paper currency system is first important disadvantage, there is a danger of overissue of paper currency by the managing authorities. Overissue means more than the economic development, more than the net worth of the nation. If the currencies are printed and circulated, so it is deceiving to other countries, saying that their worth in monetary value, that is in currency value, is more, but the actual worth of the nation, or what you call as the real income, the real properties in the country are low. So this is going to happen in most of the cases. Overissue of currency will result in a rise in prices. If you are unnecessarily printing more currencies, the currencies circulated in the hands of the people may lead to more demand for the goods, but the real supply of the goods may not be there, leads to inflation. So this inflation has an adverse effect on foreign trade and even in the foreign exchange rates and many other evils will encounter. The over issue of paper currency has ruined many countries in the past. The past, most of the countries have lost their economic existence in the country, basically in the world, basically because of this over issue of currency. Now, second important disadvantage, it will not have universal acceptance. There is no universal acceptance sometimes now because of these trade relations, tariff relations, and all that. There is a value for monetary. At any point of time, if this trade relations gets collapsed, this unit has no any value in the international level. Therefore, every country is cautioned that their currency, what it represents, the value of the treasure, the country should have that much of value of treasure in their own, in the real sense. It is recognized as a money only in the country where it is issued. For others, paper money is just bits of paper. Gold, on the other hand, has a universal acceptance. But actually, if you see the gold, it has a universal acceptance. Everybody will accept it. But now, due to these trade relations, trust is being established between the countries. But if you see the present world scenario where the people are losing, countries are losing trust on another countries, if this continues, your paper currency system may get collapsed at any point of time. Therefore, we need to understand these disadvantages and come out with the specific ideology that let us be the currency system, paper currency system be in existence, but every country should take care that the support of the value is made in terms of gold and silver or in other terms of treasures in the country. Unless and until your GDP grows, unless and until the production goes, unless and until the people real standard of living increases, do not print more currency notes. If you do that, the value will be misrepresented. That is the over issue of the currency notes. So here I will end my lecture, third lecture, and I continue. I will take the fourth session in tomorrow's this thing. Thank you. Thanks for your kind support. Please read books also along with this and understand the basic concepts. Thank you.